oh hey, at least now we get the actual first episode of My Hero Academia, because let's be honest, that first episode of Season 3 is not really true because it's fucking a garbage recap, and I hate the fact that it fucking exists. But it's like, but no, it has new material though. It has like different nah, fuck that shit. Like, it's like literally just a very thin, watery excuse to be like, let's go with these characters and go, hey, remember that time? Like, I like to believe that, like, people, and this is the only thing I'm really going to mention about the recap and getting into the actual episode I really liked a lot, but I will say this, at least with, like, the recap episode, is that it hasn't been that long. I'd like to say it's been maybe 6 to 7 months, and I'd like to feel like people can remember, or at least, like, remember some of the huge plot points going on in the series. If not, I know a lot of people will normally either re-watch those episodes to kind of get themselves caught up, or just have them. I like to believe that people that watch this series at least know everything that's going on, and I kind of like hate that it's like, here's that giant reminder. It's like, sure, like, I understand in what they did in, I would rather if what they did in this episode, where it's like, hey, here's a nice flashy card, here is the character's name, and the episode is still happening, and it's like, this is the guy's name, this is his quirk. I would rather have that, but no, the for real first episode of the school trip, as we get to see Deku and the rest of the Class 1A as they begin training their quirks and meeting a couple of peculiar characters along the way. So another thing to add is the Villains League, or the League of Villains, shall we say, actually had a little bit of screen time in this episode, and they have got their own plans as well for what's to come, and you can see at like the right end of this episode, we can see who are mainly our antagonists are going to be for this. Of course, as well, if you've seen the opening by Otherworld, which, yeah, I guess this is my first time really talking about the opening and the ending. It's like, honestly, I think they're like, as much as I love Otherworld, this is not my favorite song from them. I rather way prefer like Core Pride, opening for the Grey Man. Like, this is, if anything, it's one of their weaker-ish openings, but it's fine, I guess. And the ending is like, I like the whole like having the like rough drafts of the episodes on there. I thought that was a cool thing, but like generally, yeah, the song I just do not like either. So yeah, it's a general shame on that. But with Class 1A, as we get reintroduced to all of our characters again with, hey, here's Deku, and just a nice little title like, quirk, what, you know, one for all, there we go, all sorted. And we find out that, so a lot of them were like, I was actually planning to like go somewhere, but no, we're going on an actual school trip for our holiday, which we are going to be using to enhance our quirks, which we get to see that Eraserhead is taking them to, and we are introduced to I think they're called the Meow Meow Pussycats, which we see two of the members, which Deku's like, oh my god, they focus on like mountain rescues. They're like, oh my god, they're so great for like there was a nice joke where it's like their 12-year-old is like, no, I'm 18, as like the one like cat was never to claw his face off, and it's like, so this is going to be the exam. Here's the camp all the way over there. You are going to go over there and get there in time, as she just uses her quirk, which is like a landslide, and just causes everyone to go down. It's like, you have 3 hours or so maybe to get there at lunchtime, and we get to see, which is a nice thing as well, it's like you get to see everyone use their quirks, so you get reminded of what they can do. It's like, here, let's use everyone in Class 1A, and it's like, let's use their quirks. And to be fair, a lot of I will say for at least this bit, because it makes more sense to like show a recap of like, this is what this character do, because at least there are characters there that you've maybe seen their quirk used once. Obviously we know Deku, we know Todoroki, we know Bakugo, we know Yariozu, we know Froppy, we know all of these characters, but it's like the guy that's like, I eat sugar cubes and I become muscly, and like the one dude that's like, here's animals as my friends, like, you get those fuckers out of there. And it's like, it was a nice little showcase of like, here, they actually using teamwork, and it's like, it's getting every character, even the minors ones, do have a moment to shine, and they get there. And the whole reason for this training is that they showcase as well with Bakugo, where we're going to use you, alright, let's see how far you can throw this ball, the same ball that they had when they first did their actual test, where it's like, use your quirk to see how far you can get with this thing. I was like, alright, let's try this out. As Bakugo was like, and everyone's like, oh man, he like, after everything he's gone through, after all the training, like, all that, and then endurance and that stamina, it's like, man, he can probably get that, like, double the length that he can last time, and he throws it, and as always, I love Bakugo just screaming everything that needs to, like, die or be destroyed, because he's that kind of asshole, and I love him for it. Is we see that it's not that much of an improvement. It's a little bit, but it's because they've been strengthening their bodies, they've been strengthening their minds, but they have not been doing anything to further improve their quirks. They have just been using them, and this is where it's like, you guys have some, like, or at least a few of them, it's like, you have some interesting quirks here, you can work around these, and it's like, you need to actually learn how to use them in different ways. So, and I remember definitely the chapters that came in with this is like, there are characters where it's like, huh, you could actually use it for that. I mean, Yaoyorozu's one is of creation, and she could do so much with that. Like, Uraraka's is gravity. You can make, like, do so much with that. Like, same thing with Bakugo, it's explosion. Like, you can manipulate them as well. Like, basically, I just want Bakugo to get to the point where he's like Yoshikage Kira. I just want him to be, like, using bite the dust on people. Like, I don't think it'll be that crazy, but, like, overall, and we get introduced as well to at least the nephew of, one of the Meow Meow Pussycats, which is a little kid that doesn't like heroes. He hates them for the most part, because we find out very quickly that his mom and dad were heroes and they were killed because of it. And it's like, well, everyone to him, it's like they murdered him. Why is everyone celebrating? And everyone else was like, they died valiant deaths and they were true heroes to the very end. And it's like, how do you explain that to a kid as well as that? It's like, no, it's slightly good thing that your parents died. Like, at least they died in a good way doing their job, like, but in the day, that's like, no, that was his mom and dad, and she's pretty much been taking care of them ever since. And we get a little moment here and there, like the one little comedy bit, which is like the kind of, I guess, the hot spring for the most part, where they're on the sauna, and it's like, oh, fucking Minette, I can't stand that character, I fucking hate him. I know he's the comedy guy, where he's like climbing with his balls, he's like, no, over there is paradise. Like, and it's like, alright, you perverted piece of shit, I am as well, but you like, we know you're gonna do it anyway. And it's like, that little kid is there to stop him, and it's like, oh, thanks, we knew that. I think what was more hilarious was the fact that, like, Eraserhead warned them, and it's like, I have a student there that is a wild beast, or something. He said something in the lines that is like an uncontrollable beast when it came to, like, perversion or something. It was something along the lines of the episode, which made me, like, laugh quite a bit. And he ended up falling down because he caught a glimpse of of all the girls, like, a little nude on there. I like that fucking invisible girl is like, you can actually see her ass. Like, on there, it's like, because she's invisible, it's like, you can't see anything. It's like, hey, that's the one character I guess you get to see fully naked, I guess. Like, I guess, there you go. Enjoy that for people, because I know there's a lot of fans out there for her, but yeah, there you go. Enjoy the one and only bit of fan service I think the series has, unless you count Midnight's outfit. I guess that's the only real one, and that's tame compared to the shit I watch, so that ain't too bad. And overall, like the episode ends with them, like, getting ready to train. Like, we're getting ready to having, you know, our training montage for the most part. So overall, yeah, like, for being the actual first episode, I enjoyed it, and with the content that is going to be coming and all that, because I'm up to date with Academia, I haven't talked about the manga for a while, but definitely I am looking forward to a lot of this arc, and definitely the stuff to come. Like, I'm surprised at how much they actually teased in this new opening of Academia, where it's like, oh shit, we're actually going to do that. Like, we're actually just going to show that straight away. And it's like, nope, we're doing it. And overall, yeah, I'm looking forward to, like, talking. I don't think I'll talk about every single episode, because I know, you know, what's going to be happening, but I will talk at least maybe about some of the standout episodes that are to come in this. But I want to at least get the actual first episode approved, because I'd rather not start the first episode of Academia Season 3 by moaning about how much I fucking hated it being a recap episode. So overall, let me know what you guys think of the content down below. That's all for me. Thank you as always for watching, and I'll see you guys, though, next time.